Welcome to this video about studying on the MLitt in Film and Television Studies at the University of Glasgow. My name is David Martin-Jones and I'm a Professor of Film Studies and I currently convene the MLitt in Film and Television Studies. I wanted to talk first of all a little bit about the programme. This is a one-year programme consisting of 4 core courses and it's designed to lead you towards an independently researched dissertation. The first course you do in semester 1 is the History of Film and Television Studies, and it's an introduction to key ideas which have informed the disciplines of film and television studies. So you get weekly sessions featuring multiple members of staff, looking at different films and different ideas, and with the different expertise that all the different scholars can bring. And what you're doing there is you're developing skills in analysing and deploying film and television theory. The topics covered are very broad and they range from questioning the film and television canon to how to study a world of cinemas, TV aesthetics, feminism, post-feminism, and so on. In the second semester, you do the second core, research methods and dissertation preparation, and that focuses you on the practical application of critical thinking, for example, how to use different research methods. And you gain support in developing your dissertation proposal and your initial literature review, which is an essential ingredient of a dissertation. Again, the topics covered are very broad: how to do archival research, what methods are needed for that, how to study the production environment, what practical issues are there if you interview audiences, how to do creative practice research, maybe low-budget filmmaking or video essaying, how to research film and television policy, if that's more what you're interested in, and again, scoping and developing a research project which is leading you towards that dissertation. And then your other 2 core courses are advanced topics in television on the one hand and film on the other. And in each of those courses, you get 3 connected blocks of teaching, and each block stands on its own almost and sort of deals with a range of ideas drawn from the latest research. So in the past few years, the blocks have been things like depictions of the environment and ecology, very pertinent for the climate crisis, screen tourism, transnational cinemas, maybe border-crossing films, queer film and TV, audiovisual forms of film criticism, television and surveillance, and a range of other such courses, and each one gets a little dedicated block. Then you take one option from a range that might include, for example, festivals, which is very popular, and that would deal with not only film festivals, but a range of different festivals, literary festivals and so on. Making time, again, it's about how different forms of media have constructed temporalities, experimental art and media, and so on. And then there's the dissertation, and you get one-to-one support from a member of staff who will help you, but it's your idea that drives there. What do you want to write about for your dissertation? Why would you choose this programme? Well, there's a variety of reasons depending on the approach you take. I've been teaching it this semester, and the first thing that comes to my mind is it's a very sociable international cohort. Also, on the advanced topics courses, you meet not only the other students from the MLitt, but also the students from the other master's programmes in film and TV. I would say the second thing that stands out for me is the advanced topics. It's the latest research that the scholars are doing, and that's informing the teaching. So it's very live and very vibrant. The scholars are very passionate about it, and it is scholars who are doing that research. So they're very interested to hear what you think about it. There's also a broad coverage of the discipline, especially on research methods. And this is ideal whether you've studied film and television before or you haven't. So if you studied it before, then you can focus on the more advanced methods that you're interested in. And if you've never done it before, you get an introduction to the whole range. There's also a range of assessments because we're aware that not everyone flourishes in the same way. So yes, you will write essays, that's inevitable, but you can also have options of doing the video essay, there will be group presentations, and the dissertation, of course. This is that longer work, and that's, as I say, the topic of your choosing. I would also point to the facilities. I think they're quite good. We have a dedicated cinema, and you can even see that on the slide there. We have an extensive film collection with films from all around the world. You have access to things like box of broadcasts, online streaming portals. And there's also a very vibrant academic environment, which is not unique to Glasgow, but it is very special to Glasgow. So we have the annual Screen Conference. Screen, as you'll probably be aware, is one of the oldest film studies journals in the world, and the annual conference is held every summer at Glasgow, and a range of scholars from around the world descend on Glasgow and give papers, and you're able to see the latest research that they're involved in. The location is always also quite wonderful. You're within walking distance of the National Library of Scotland Moving Image Archive. That's the archive that used to be Scottish Screen, so you can get involved in doing your research there if you like archiving. We also tend to take you on a trip to Film City Glasgow every year if we possibly can. This is an independent sort of film hub, really. And yeah, Glasgow being Media City, of course, is a big draw. And I did want to mention the city. A lot of people come for the course, but some people are also thinking, well, the course looks really interesting, but what about the place where I'll go and live? And there's lots of stats there about both the city and the university, which you can have a look at. But because you're interested in film and TV, I would point in particular at the fact that Glasgow has numerous cinemas, including an art cinema called the GFT, the Glasgow Film Theatre. And that first opened in its initial form in 1939, and it's been ongoing since then. And I would say what's interesting in that is it shows you what kind of a cinematic culture we've got in Glasgow. And if you look at all the other stats there about the museums and the music scene and so on, you can see it's a very culturally alive city. And again, in terms of the university, this had this extensive recent campus redevelopment. So there's lots of nice places to study and work with, cafes and eateries and so on in these big, wonderful new modern buildings. But there's also the ARC, the Advanced Research Centre, where there's all kinds of activities going on about research. You can go along and it's all free and you can get involved. And then, of course, there's the student societies, many of which are focused on film and television. What do our students tend to do? Well, they go off and do a variety of things after a master's program. Some go into PhD study, and those who do maybe go into academia or maybe decide to go into other areas, including the film and television industries. But many people go into other things. For example, management roles in arts organizations. We have a lot of former students who've gone to work in the festivals. Film education, whether formally in an institution that teaches, or perhaps, for example, as a film officer at an independent cinema, those kinds of roles exist. And again, media-specific roles with non-arts organizations. So you might work in an organization which has very little to do with the arts, but your specialism in media law or whatever it is means that you can get a job there. In addition to that, film and television studies is part of a broader school context. So you will meet people from theatre, from music, from study of cultural policy, and so on. And what's interesting about that, I think, is not only do you expand your mind and your range of thinking, but also you become aware of more opportunities for areas you might move into after your study has finished. How to apply, there's the link to the web page, and that's got all the latest information about the criteria and so on. And then if you scroll down, there's a button which literally says apply now, and that's how you get into the application form. If you're interested in social media and that kind of thing, there's lots of ways you can connect and see what's going on in this vibrant context. Okay, I'll stop this recording. Thanks for listening and good luck with your application.